Hey people, John V here from Phone Arena. You're watching our in-depth video review of the Pantech Element. It's available right now through AT&T, sporting a 2-year contract price of $299.99, $300 for this one here. It's the very first time we're seeing a Pantech tablet running Honeycomb. The unique thing about this guy is that it is waterproof while still employing some of the usual features you tend to find, and also runs off of AT&T's 4G LTE network. Right away, we're easily reminded about the Pantech Pocket from not too long ago, just because the Element here shares the same 4:3 aspect ratio with its display, so it looks a little bit more squarish than anything else. And when you hold it in portrait, it looks very similar to a smartphone, just because you have the speaker right up top along with the front-facing camera. It makes it rather difficult to hold just because of its wide body. And overall, the design is rather conventional. Nothing really stand out about it. It's constructed out of plastic all around, and the accompanying weight gives it a good amount of durability. Overall, it's very solid feeling, but with the glossy back cover, it does tend to look a little bit dirty because of the fingerprints and smudges. So the Pantech Element features an 8-inch display, standard LCD panel, has a resolution of 1024 by 768 pixels. When you do the math, that's a pixel density of 160 ppi, and on paper, of course, that's rather low, but honestly, just looking around, even things like the web browser, we didn't have too much of an issue making out fine text, so it's still more decent enough. As far as color production, definitely on the neutral side, some mostly realistic looking colors. It offers some really good, decent viewing angles, and for the most part, it is more than usable. Towards the left edge of the tablet, you have the speaker right here and the front-facing 2-megapixel camera. Most of the tablet's ports are found along its bottom edge. You have the micro HDMI, the micro USB port, while on the other side you have the micro SD card slot, micro SIM card slot. They're protected very well with the plastic flaps, so no water can come in. Meanwhile, on the opposite edge, you have the microphone here. You have the dedicated power button, the volume control. They stick out, and they have a good responsive feel when you press them down. And a 3.5mm headset jack is well protected with the plastic flap over it, and it's located on the left side of the tablet. Lastly, the 5-megapixel autofocus camera with LED flash is found in the corner in the back of the tablet. Well, there's nothing really new with the Pantech Element, just because it seems to be running a mostly stock Android 3.2.1 Honeycomb experience, though there are some tweaks here. For example, the capacitive Android buttons in the bottom left corner has a slightly different look, and with the app panel, it loses out on the glowing borders around the icons and sticks to a traditional grid-like view. And you also have the weather widget right there, not something you find with the stock experience, but for the most part, it remains intact. Nothing really different about it. A lot of personalization, which we come to expect out of Android as a whole. With its 1.5 GHz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon APQ8060 processor and 1 GB RAM, we have to say we're very impressed with the performance of the Pantech Element. You can tell even with the live wallpaper, it's not struggling whatsoever, and other basic tasks, opening up applications, doing a bunch of different functions such as pinch zooming right here, pretty quick, and overall, very speedy. Considering that it's packing an 8-inch display, a little bit smaller than those 10-inch tablets that we see out in the market, and when it comes to actually typing up messages with it, yes, the layout of the keyboard is rather cramped, so if you have larger fingers, you might have some issues, but you can tell with the response and movement, it's able to keep up with that good rate, and you also have as an alternative the swipe keyboard if you prefer using that. Just like any other Honeycomb tablet out there, the Pantech Element excels when it comes to email. Whether you use the Gmail or your standard email one, it's pretty fantastic. Good layout, the 2-panel layout, and you have all the features of Gmail that you come to expect. Well, if you happen to live in an area that has AT&T 4G LTE connectivity, you'll definitely take a liking to the tablet here. But in our case, we're only on HSPA Plus connectivity, and we managed to get decent speeds, as fast as 8 megabits per second down and 1.5 megabits per second up, which is good enough. As far as the web browsing performance goes, it's adequate. We do notice some choppiness with its movement, especially when there's a lot of Flash content, but it's still more than usable. Just like any other Honeycomb tablet out there, you have the stock Honeycomb music player, which is definitely nice just because it has that 3D carousel effect as you're browsing through music. As far as the audio quality, it's single speaker. We're surprised that it's very loud, but we do notice some strength the lattice volume setting. So the unique thing about the Pantech Element is that it has IP57 certification, meaning that it can be submerged up to 1 meter for 30 minutes and it'll still work. And you can tell here we have the tablet submerged in water, running a video, put it in water completely submerged, still running, not a problem at all. So it's pretty neat. So if you're nearby the pool, the shallow side, not the deep end, of course you're not going to have too much of a worry, just because it is protected against some spills and even submersion to an extent. One of the other big surprises about the Pantech Element is the pleasant looking photos captured by its 5 megapixel autofocus camera, a lot better than what we would expect. With outdoor shots in sunny conditions, details tend to look a little bit over sharpened, and at times it can look overexposed, but produces some neutral looking colors for the most part. Low lighting shots, of course, detail goes down a little bit, and colors are more on the bland side, but the LED flash does an exceptional job in lighting up the scenery, and overall, we're very content by it. Unfortunately, we can't say the same about its 720p videos. First of all, details are out the door. It looks rather indistinct with its soft tones, and it's at 19 frames per second recording, so it's rather choppy, and it's further muddied by some heavy artifacting going on when you're panning. It does offer a continuous autofocus, which is nice, and mostly clear audio recording, but overall, its quality is rather subpar. Signal strength is not a problem with the Pantech Element just because in high coverage areas it's able to establish a solid connection to the network and rarely fluctuates. Furthermore, there isn't much concern about battery life with the Pantech Element just because with HSPA Plus connectivity we're able to easily get one solid day of normal usage. Even heavy users will get by with no problems at all. Considering this is Pantech's first stab in the Android tablet scene, we're very impressed overall with the Pantech Element. It offers a lot of value. Now, it might not have the reputation like some of its rivals, but what it lacks in that area, it makes up with its well-balanced performance. And also, when you factor in its price point, it's $300 with the 2-year contract or $450 outright. It's very justified and also reasonable considering it offers cellular connectivity, 4G LTE to be exact. You have also a nice looking display, takes some decent looking photos, processor runs very quick, and you have the waterproof aspect, and overall definitely seems like a very appealing tablet if you're in the market. So if you want to learn more about the Pantech Element, you can check out our website, guys, phonearena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching.